Minister of Education blows hot over alarming rate of out-of-school children. Welcome to Roots TV Roundup. I'm Gloria Oje Emodi. Before starting the news in detail, here is a look at our top stories. Parents of school dropouts may get arrested. INEC to deregister 80 political parties. Tanko Mohammed admits Onogan is still CJN. In a bid to reduce the number of out-of-school children in the country, the federal government may soon begin to prosecute parents who do not enroll their children in school.
The ministry call it not for the criminalization, because the idea has already been current even before us, but effecting it. And I think there was a time the governor of Sokoto also either gave it effect or threatened to give it effect. And I think I agree with you that unless it is made a crime, until we start jailing parents who refuse to send their children to school, there are many who will still behind religion, behind culture, or behind so many other things. I agree with you, and I think it should be done, and it will be done.
Over 80 political parties are to be deregistered by INEC following their failure to win at least 25% of votes cast in one state during the presidential elections or one local government area during the governorship polls.
The Independent National Electoral Commission will be deregistering over 80 political parties following their failure to win at least 25% of vote cast in one state of the federation in a presidential election or one local government of the state in the governorship elections. According to Section 225 of the Constitution, as amended, empowers INEC to deregister political parties on the grounds of a breach of any of the requirements for registration, failure to win at least 25% of vote cast in one state of the federation in a presidential elections or one local government of the state in the governorship elections, failure to win at least one ward in the chairmanship election, one seat in the national or state house of assembly election, or one seat in the councillorship elections. Accordingly, apart from the ruling All Progressive Congress, People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Grand Alliance that have won seats since 2015, Young Progressive Party, People's Redemption Party, Action Alliance, Allied People's Movement and the Social Democratic Party are the only 5 other parties that may scale through.
Acting CJN Tanko Mohammed, while responding to a query from the NJC, clears the air by admitting that Walter Onogan is still the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria Tanko Mohammed has stated that President Muhammadu Buhari did not need the approval of the National Judicial Council to appoint him acting CJN. The acting CJN made the statement in response to a query from the NJC, which was issued following a petition by the Center for Justice and Peace Initiative challenging Tanko Mohammed's appointment without prior NJC approval. CJN Mohammed, citing Section 231 of the Nigerian Constitution, also stated that the NJC is only to be consulted when the appointment of an acting CJN is to be renewed or extended. Justice Mohammed further stated that the president swore him in as acting CJN and not as the substantive CJN. Justice Walter Onogan remains the CJN until he is removed from office in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. He is only suspended. According to the acting CJN, if the court order against Onogan is set aside, status quo would be restored and Onogan would resume the office of CJN. The 17th Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogan, was suspended by the federal government over allegations of failure to declare his assets and a breach of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act 1991. Following Onogan's suspension, President Buhari appointed Tanko Mohammed as acting CJN. Tanko Mohammed's appointment has been met with a lot of backlash, particularly from the PDP, who believe that Mohammed's appointment as CJN is an attempt by Buhari and the APC to manipulate the decision-making process of the election tribunal. Ahead of the supplementary elections, the presidency has cautioned APC candidates in states where the polls are to hold on Saturday that President Muhammadu Buhari will not influence INEC.
The presidency warned the All Progressive candidates in the states where supplementary elections will hold on Saturday that President Muhammadu Buhari would not manipulate the Independent National Electoral Commission in their favor. It also warned political leaders against making inflammatory statements capable of inciting the citizenry to violence ahead of Saturday's supplementary elections. It noted that INEC was fully in charge of electoral matters in the country, not President Buhari, adding that the Constitution of Nigeria does not give him any powers to interfere in the electoral process. The presidency advised party leaders in the 6 states to work hard to end the people's vote on Saturday and not expect President Buhari to usurp his power to sway things in their favor. It stressed that INEC was in charge.
And Itogimo Edet is standing by with the top 5 business stories.
Indeed, Gloria, the banking sector hasn't added this big in years. More of that as we take you through business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria and the Securities and Exchange Commission have both granted Access Bank PLC and Diamond Bank PLC the final approval to merge. Recall that a few weeks ago, the shareholders of both banks approved the merger between the lenders after a series of extraordinary general meetings held in Lagos. The merger between the two entities is poised to create Sub-Saharan Africa's largest bank by asset size. Staying with the financial sector, United Bank for Africa has announced its audited 2018 financial results with impressive growth achieved across major financial lines. According to the 2018 financials filed at the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the Africa's Global Bank's gross earnings grew by 7% to 494 billion naira compared to 461.6 billion naira recorded in the corresponding period of 2017. In the meantime, Nigeria's power sector lost 108.6 billion naira revenue between January and March due to various constraints. The report, however, added that the average supply to the grid within the periods were 4,062 megawatt for 2019 and 3,875 megawatt for 2018. Meanwhile, Nigeria's biggest airline, Air Peace, may begin direct flight to India from Lagos. Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Abe Thakur, said that the domestic carrier had been approved by the federal government to operate direct flight to India under the bilateral air service agreement BASA signed with Asian nation in January. In the principle of reciprocity, 2 airlines may be designated each from one country and the other under the commercial agreement would endorse the number of frequencies the airlines will operate to one another's country. And finally, equities market closed Monday on a negative note as NSE All-Share Index depreciated by 0.06%. The close at 31,125.39 basis point as against 0.22% depreciation recorded previously. The day-to-day returns currently stands at minus 0.97%. Guarantee and Zenith Bank top market value list. And that's all 5 business news. I am Itogimo Edet. It's back to the main news.
That's good for customers of both banks and more. Thank you so much for the business stories. And that's all for Roots TV News. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. Parents of out-of-school children may get arrested. INEC to deregister 80 political parties. Tanko Muhammad admits Onogan is still CJN. For more news updates, subscribe to our YouTube page and follow all our social media platforms. I'm Gloria Oji Emode.